Now to former President Trump's criminal hush money trial, set to resume with his one-time attorney and former fixer Michael Cohen returning to the stand for his third day of testimony. Cohen has given the most incriminating testimony so far, that Trump was aware of and directly involved in falsifying business records to hide the reimbursement of a hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. ABC News investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky with the latest.
So far, Phil, the cross-examination of Michael Cohen has focused on Michael Cohen, his obsession with Donald Trump, his desire to see Trump convicted, how Cohen made money from bad-mouthing Trump online. The defense asked nothing about the most damaging testimony Cohen delivered, linking Trump to the alleged scheme to hide from voters an adult film star's claim of a sexual tryst. Cohen testified Trump knew about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels and approved the plan to pay back Cohen, who had fronted the money. Cohen said he sent monthly invoices for services rendered, but he told the jury he performed no services. The checks Trump signed, he said, were the reimbursement to me of the hush money meant to silence Daniels before the 2016 election. The defense cast Cohen as a spurned underling whose testimony cannot be trusted, and Phil, defense attorney Todd Blanche said he expects to cross-examine Cohen all day long. Phil?
I bet he does. ABC News investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky. Aaron, thank you. ABC News legal contributor Kim Whaley joins me now for more. Kim, Michael Cohen has arrived at the Manhattan courthouse already. We're still about an hour away from court beginning. What are you watching for as Cohen prepares to take the stand again today?
Well, there's a few things that the defense has to do. Number one, as Aaron just indicated, they need to cross-examine him on the core conversations, two conversations he had with Donald Trump, allegedly about the payment to Stormy Daniels and it being for the election, not for some other reason. It's really the only direct evidence so far that we've seen of Donald Trump's intent. So that's important. Number two, they need to develop a counter narrative, maybe through Michael Cohen. The testimony, the last round, the cross-examination meandered a little bit. The jury needs to see, okay, if this didn't unfold the way the government said it did, what's the alternative? Are they going to ask Michael Cohen to talk about the legal work he did, for example, try to distance himself from Donald Trump? And then third, they probably want to see if they can get under his skin. Michael Cohen, when he testified in the civil fraud case, was a lot more animated, maybe angry. So if they can demonstrate through cross-examination that Michael Cohen is sort of a live wire, that feeds into the narrative that he can't be trusted, and this is a vendetta, and he has some ulterior motives for giving the testimony that he's given.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tall mountain to climb. I mean, obviously he's an attorney and he's been coached and he's been pretty calm so far on the stand. Prosecutors say Cohen will be the last witness, and the defense might not call any witnesses. So I'm wondering, are you surprised at the pace of this trial so far?
It has gone very quickly. This is the kind of thing that could drag out for quite a while. And Michael Cohen knows a lot of information. And the prosecution gave him a pretty sort of streamlined, direct examination, perhaps because they laid the foundation and the corroborating evidence through documents. There was an audio tape of Donald Trump talking about the Karen McDougal payoff. There were Hill Hicks, David Pecker, several witnesses who laid basically what the government needs to prove. And Michael Cohen comes in and sort of, connects all the dots and also gave an inside look of what it was like to be so close to Donald Trump, perhaps giving some color to the truth from the government's perspective around how Donald Trump really ran his company, that it was closely held and that he knew everything that was going on. So I'm sure that was a strategic decision on behalf of the government to kind of wrap this up quickly rather than let it drag out.
And also have other witnesses say that before they had Michael Cohen say that, because he, of course, has those credibility issues. The defense told the judge they have not determined if Trump will testify in his own defense. I think I know the answer to this question because it's pretty typical in cases. You only put your defendant on the stand if you have to. But do you think if Donald Trump got up there, it would help his case in any way?
I don't, because under New York law in particular, the judges already had some hearings on what's called a Sandoval ruling. That is, if Donald Trump sits down, other bad acts, other bad acts relating to the civil fraud trial, for example, can come in on cross-examination. So if he sits, this case becomes not just about these hush money payoffs, but about other things Donald Trump has done, because that's fair game to challenge his credibility, setting aside, I think, the defense lawyer's concern that he might perjure himself and produce more criminal charges. So I think it's highly unlikely. It's mostly bluster for his base, because of course he's operating not just as a criminal defendant here, but he's using this trial to raise money and to basically score political points on the campaign trail.
Yeah, legally, it seems like that might be some sort of catastrophe. Kim Whaley, thank you so much. Good to see you. And I just want to remind our viewers what we're seeing on the left side of the screen there was Trump Tower. We understand the former president is going to be leaving the building soon and heading down to court in Lower Manhattan. We're going to cover that for you, and we're going to continue to cover Trump's criminal hush money trial for you all day long, bringing the latest details of Michael Cohen's third day of testimony as soon as he takes the stand in about 45 minutes or so. That should happen.